Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Developing TodoDock. In this episode, we're going to add one last item in our task edit model, and that is we're going to add a new toggle or a checkbox. I'm going to decide in this video actually to allow users to enable or disable reminder emails. So this is how it works. Let's say you have a task, and whenever your task is due today, normally by default you receive an email from TodoDock like letting you know that your task is due today. But as you can see, this task has currently a period of 2 days, and if you don't mute your emails for this particular task, you're going to receive an email every 2 days, and some people might not want that. Like, I imagine if your task is the period of your task is like more than 1 week or at least 3-4 days, you would want to receive an email, because the only reason that you're using this app is you don't want to forget about your tasks. But for this case, I want to add an option, give the users an option to mute their reminder emails particular to some of their tasks. So let's just go ahead and open our task editor one more time and insert a new component. So as I've already shown you, the new component will be right between the color picker and the notes. So let's call this task reminder toggle. Let's pass a prop called muted or is muted, and set muted. And just to be consistent with the existing handlers, I'm going to call this update muted state or something like that. Of course, we need to now add a new state here, is muted, and set muted. Okay, so we actually have a column in our database that corresponds to this flag, and it's called, I believe, mute reminder emails. But the issue is currently we are not returning, let me just show you. Whenever we load our tasks, what is this? Okay, this is the request that returns the data for our task, right? So if you can see, we don't get that flag. By that flag, I mean this flag, mute reminder emails. And that's because in our task resource class, we are not indicating that we want that information. What we have to do is just include it here, mute reminder emails. And now we should be receiving, actually we also have to update the collection. Okay, so let's give it another shot and make sure that we now get the flag. Yeah, as you can see, or probably you can't see because it's too small, but it says mute reminder emails equals 0. So by default, they are not muted. The user will have to, from now on, since we are adding the option, will have to manually mute them if they want them to be muted. So, okay, we can continue from the task editor. So we know that we can actually receive this from the API, and that's how we can initialize this state. So the handler will be more like the set color because it's not a text and it's just a selection. So I'm going to copy this and try to move forward using this template. Now, what did we call this? Update, wait a second, I want to make sure. Update muted state. So is muted. Okay. Like the the issue with this is it's impossible that this would be true anytime, because this is going to be a toggle, whether it's going to be a checkbox or a toggle. Regardless of that, this can only change. This can't stay the same. So I believe we don't need to set this. I mean, include this logic, because like just to explain what I broke something. Anyway, I'm gonna tell it to you. The thing I'm trying to say is whenever you click that toggle or the checkbox, it's gonna change. Like you can't select the same color. I mean, you can select the same color, or you can edit the task name or description to exactly match the existing thing, but in this case you can't do that. That's why we can get rid of this. Also, mute, I mean, wait a second, we will have to pass the key explicitly. So mute reminder emails will be equal to is muted. So obviously, instead of set color, set muted is muted. Okay. Like I feel like we should only update this. Oh, okay. I know. We're gonna update this right away, but if this fails, we have to revert this. All right. And our message should depend on like the flag. So let's decide is muted. If it's true, we're gonna say email reminders muted, or just like I have a better idea, muted unmuted, and this will be the suffix. And here we only want to say task, I mean email reminders okay, email reminders suffix. All right. Could not. Okay. I have one other idea. Suffix D, because I want to say could not suffix. Actually, let's call this verb. Okay, could not mute or unmute email reminders. Okay, we're done for this part, and next we have to create the actual component. So task, I forgot what we called it. Task reminder toggle. And inside every file, you have to update the name as well. Task reminder toggle. I named this correctly, right? Okay. Let's rename this as well. Just get rid of those. All right, so we can start writing our component. I just want to make sure, yeah, is muted and set muted. I want to make sure the props. So what do we want to display here? First of all, I want to first try out the toggle. So I'm between using a toggle and a checkbox, but firstly I'm gonna go with toggle. I think it's called switch. Yeah, I was looking for something like this. So that's how we use it, it seems. We just import switch from Ant. Okay, so just let's paste this here. On change will be set muted. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but just let's call this mute reminder emails question mark, and let's see how it looks currently. Okay, this is, oh, we didn't import this from the task editor. Task reminder toggle. Okay. What about now? Maybe it will be easier to see. Invalid CSS. Oh, okay. My bad. All right, this is how it looks. So there's a lot of, margin at the moment. I don't know why, because probably I just copied and pasted. Yeah. Just instead of deleting it, let's make this. Okay, this is very large. We have a way to control the size, and just we can pass a prop. Okay, let's give it a shot. And also we have to add some space between. It looks perfect at the moment. like not maybe perfect, but pretty good. So this is a button. So only thing we have to do is just add some margin left to this button. Okay, as you can see, it moved. Yeah, and also the top margin could be bigger. Okay, so this shouldn't be on by default. So we have to fix. Oh. Okay, we have to fix it. Default checked. No. By the way, we should see how why would I want it default checked by default? So okay, we can pass the checked directly. Is muted. All right, so I'm going to just go into the debug mode and see what happens here when I toggle it. Okay, we are inside our handler. Is muted is true. Okay, I don't need the rest actually. Also, I want to see if it gets false now. Is muted is false. Okay, so that was what I wanted to see. So we're actually using this on change correctly. That was what I was looking for. Obviously, our controller doesn't recognize this. I mean, yeah, this key right now because we have to define it. So that's, I guess, what we're gonna do now. Task controller. Here, just has mute flag. Mute reminder emails. Okay. And we have to update the custom request as well. All right. And here, do we have another Boolean attribute? I believe we don't. I was just going to steal the code, but anyway, so has mute flag. This has mute reminder emails. So this is easy. So get mute flag. Yeah, it should be Boolean. So what I was not sure about is whether okay, so can we do something like this? True, I mean equals to true. Like in theory, we should be able to do something like that because it's not automatically casting it to Boolean, of course. This just sees this as a string. So without actually guessing, let's run this in debug mode. But before that, actually, we have to add a validation rule. Yeah, required. I'm gonna have to check something. Laravel validation Boolean. Okay. Yeah, we have a validation rule built in, which is called Boolean. So I can, as it seems, just go just like this one. All right, so let's try to invoke our controller. Okay. What? Why didn't we enter? I didn't put a breakpoint here. Then we have to, let's try to evaluate this in console. False. Is it all? I don't remember the initial state. I will have to try again. Why are there breakpoints everywhere? I don't want these. At least we can see the outcome, but we have another problem. Invalid prompt checked of type number supplied to switch. Oh, okay. I see the issue now. Like we have to cast this. Yeah, we have to cast this to Boolean like that. And also, while making the request, we also have to cast this to an int like this. And we can run this in debug mode one more time. Just let me make sure that there is a breakpoint this time. So initial state is not muted. Okay. These are also not needed for now. Right, so I can just evaluate this one. Yeah, this is 1. And the outcome should be now I'm going to try again, and I want to see that the value is immersed right here. Okay, it was 1, and now it should be 0. Yeah, and what this returns should be false, right? Yeah, the issue is, since this is a tiny int, so instead of true or false, we should make this 1 or 0. It's now false, but somehow it's accepting it, doesn't complain. So I'm gonna do an experiment here. just refresh the page and clear everything. Okay, so do stuff, non-muted, okay? I want to see that do stuff returns, yeah, 0. And if I toggle this, what do we get? We still get false for some reason. And what happens if I refresh? Oh, it doesn't seem to be working. Is it because of the issue that I just told you about? Okay. Actually, let me put a breakpoint here. 1 second. Now, let's try. Okay, so I'm just going to check this value. It is 0. How can it be 0? I'm just toggling it, making it true. Okay, what happens if I click this again? Is it still 0? Yeah, it's still 0. I'm doing something wrong, but we'll figure out what. Why didn't it trigger? Okay. Okay, so what's exactly in this? Oh, yeah, I know already. I don't even have to look back. Yeah, I forgot that I changed this. Actually, I can get rid of this completely because this is either 1 or 0. The only thing, yeah, just like this, we have to get the int val. Yeah. Okay. Now I can make this experiment without the debug mode. Let's clear and see the current state. This should be 0. Okay. Do stuff 0. And when I toggle it, a new request, now it's 1. Perfect. And when I refresh, it should also, okay, it's toggled on. Okay, it seems like we managed to fix the bug. Okay. And the notifications also work. The only question right now is, should I go with, like, stick with the switch or use a checkbox instead? Like, this feels better for me personally, but I don't know. Also, this is very, like, weak looking. Maybe I can make it bolder. Task reminder toggle. Let's try. Yeah, it could be improved for sure, but it's like good enough for now. I don't want to waste any more time. The only thing I might want to do is maybe I can update the color dark gray to match, yeah, because these are all dark gray. It looks fine to me. So I'm going to call it a day here. Yeah, we have updated controller, the request, collection resource, editor, and added a new component. So it looks reasonable. All right, so this is it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.